The heat can do a number on your blood sugars. So if you hear that fan in the background, that is my face fan. It is hot and I don't want to turn on the AC because this electricity bill has been out the wazoo lately. So today we're going to be talking about some tips, 10 things that you can do to properly prepare for the summer if you have diabetes or pre-diabetes. There's one thing I want to get clear. There's over 40 different things that can impact our blood sugar, and temperature is absolutely one of them. I currently live in the state of Florida, and in the state of Florida, besides all the hurricanes that we have to deal with, we do get heat advisories depending on, you know, the heat index of the day. And one of the things that is important, like they say on the news, you know, if you're elderly or if you're a young child, you know, don't go outside or be careful when you go outside. And I want to extend that, me personally, to individuals that are living with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. I have an associate, she's a dietitian, and she lives with type 1 diabetes. And we went on this trip together, and it was actually a whole host of other dietitians on the trip, but I took an interest in her because she had on her CGM, and I just wanted to see what her blood sugars were doing in the heat, because we were definitely outside. And her blood sugars, despite not eating anything, were climbing. And you may say to yourself, well, Kim, that does not make sense. It actually does, which leads me to my first tip. So, hydration. Hydration is absolutely important during the summer months. So dehydration can actually cause your blood sugars to be elevated. So we all have a certain amount of glucose in our bloodstream. And when we are dehydrated, that means that that extra fluid is leaving our bloodstream, which causes that concentration of glucose, aka sugar, to go up. And if that concentration goes up because the water is leaving, this can cause our blood sugars to be elevated, which was actually happening to that colleague of mine. So the first thing that I would say is water. Water is going to be your best friend. Definitely try to avoid a lot of sugary beverages, including a lot of juices. Some people may ask me, well, Kim, can I have sugar-free soda? And my answer is, well, if you want to have sugar-free soda, then yeah, that's fine because there's no sugar in it. I know some people will say things like, oh, you know, the cancer risk and da-da-da-da-da. I leave that up to you to individually figure out yourself, because everyone has a different taste preference. Everyone, you know, prefers different things to be added or taken away from their diet. And I want to remain as neutral as possible while also supporting you in your health decision. So my first beverage of choice that I would highly recommend is water. Make sure that you are staying hydrated. The second thing is I want you to monitor your blood sugars just a little more frequently. And the reason for that is because the heat can cause some really weird things. It can cause your blood sugar to go up. It can cause your blood sugar to go down. It can cause your blood sugar to spike. It can cause your blood sugars to just, you know, act very abnormally. So during the hot season, the summer, you may need to take your blood sugars just a little more frequently. So as a general rule of thumb, I would recommend checking your blood sugars before you go outside to do any type of activity, while you are outside doing your activity, and after you come back in from inside doing the activity. And also you may want to check it 1 to 2 hours after coming back inside. Also, you may want to check it when you are feeling off. So again, me telling you my suggestions, not medical advice, my suggestions on when to check your blood sugars are just simply suggestions. If you want to know specific details when to check your blood sugar, definitely do speak with your healthcare practitioner. I'm a dietitian, but I'm not your dietitian. The third thing, which I think is important, is keeping your medications safe. Safe. So if you're on insulin, or if you are on one of these GLP-1 medications, Wegovy, Ozempic, etc., these medications are very sensitive to extreme temperatures, aka the heat. So if you are taking any of these medications, you may want to make sure that you are putting them in a cooler and making sure that they're not subjected to really, really high temperatures. If you are on a separate medication that is not insulin or GLP-1, I highly recommend you speaking to your pharmacist or even looking at the insert that comes in the package if you have any questions. The next thing is to watch for signs of heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion is real. That dizziness, that exhaustion, excessive sweating, pay attention to that, muscle cramping, those can be signs of heat exhaustion. Do not ignore them. Heat exhaustion can lead into worse things. There has been so many cases of people getting rhabdomyolysis. I know that is a huge word, but look it up. From being exposed to, like, I know for us here in Florida, we have a lot of roofers here, a lot of people that work outdoors, and they do get rhabdo because of the extreme temperatures that they are subjected to. So you don't want that to happen if you're living with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. The fifth one I want you to do is to time your outdoor activities wisely. I don't want you to go out in the middle of the day where it's going to be the hottest and the sun is going to be shining at its peak, but choose activities in the cool of the day, in the morning or even in the evening hours. Number 6, as my good friend would say, you need to dress for the temperature wisely. So I have this friend, she's probably watching this video, and she always tells me, you know, you need to wear breathable clothing, breathable clothing. So the reason we want to wear breathable clothing is because when we sweat, when we perspire, we don't want our garments to hold on to that heat, which can really impact, you know, our evaporation and our body temperature as well. So definitely cotton clothes, linen clothes are important. So we're making sure that we're perspiring properly and we're cooling down our bodies. I'm gonna throw this one in here as a bonus. I guess I'm gonna call it 6A, but along with the breathable clothing, I am going to recommend using sunscreen. And please read your sunscreen label. I know some people that just apply sunscreen that's just one time for the day and they think that's good, but the application actually says, hey, you need to apply this every 2 hours. Even for people of color, even for persons of color, please apply sunscreen. The reason why sunscreen is important is because sunscreen can help prevent sunburns. And if you're a person living with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, when you do get that sunburn, that can cause extra stress on the body. And depending on what degree of sunburn you have, I'm a person of color and I have had sunburn galore. I have had sunburns to the point where my skin is blistering, which can cause your blood sugars to be elevated because that's a sign of stress. And if you don't take care of that properly, then you can definitely get an infection, which is not fun. Number 7, keep your feet protected. I would tell you stories, but I'll spare you the details. Go to a podiatrist for the details. Plan for travel. So the summer is definitely a time where people like to travel. So you may want to take extra medications with you. You may want to account for the changes in time zones if you are taking any type of medications or changing the windows in which you are eating, which will also impact your sleeping and also your exercises. Number 10, which is my absolute favorite, I want you to eat those summer fruits, berries. They're in season. Take advantage of them. And the reason why I say that, I see a lot of people eating the same foods again and again and again and again, which your body needs different vitamins, different minerals, different antioxidants, different phytochemicals from the different foods that you are consuming. So eating a variety of different foods that are in season will make sure that you get the peak of all of those vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and nutrients. Do not be afraid. If you are afraid, which I understand because we live in a world where there's just a lot of fear mongering, start with the berries, add some protein to it, call it a day. And finally, number 10, I want you to keep your emergency supplies on hand. So with emergency supplies, because extremes in temperature can cause those fluctuations between highs and lows. I know on my channel I talk about highs a lot, but now I want to talk about lows. Your blood sugar can dip and you can start feeling shaky, you can start feeling weak, you can get hangry. You can get confusion. So I want you to keep on hand a quick acting source of sugar, which could be something as simple as a piece of candy. Then additionally, you want to make sure, I know some people have like medical bracelets or like a medical necklace with their name, their date of birth, what condition they have, their doctor's name, emergency contact information, etc., etc. You want to keep that emergency supply on you. And if you don't have a medical ID bracelet, you know, keep it near your ID, in your pocket, in your purse, etc. So these are my tips for surviving the summer if you have diabetes. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask them in the comment section below. And if you've already made it this far in the video, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And I know you have a question, so go ahead and drop that question in the comment section.